Wait, is EJ DiMera actually going to betray Chad DiMera in the most unforgivable way possible? Are we seriously supposed to believe that EJ DiMera is looking his grieving brother right in the eye and lying about Abigail Devereaux being alive in a secret stasis pod? And hold on a second. Did Jack Devereaux and Chad DiMera really just dig up Abigail Devereaux's grave only to find out that her remains are completely missing? I am losing my mind over this. Hey Days fans, welcome back. I've got some massive Salem drama to unpack today, and honestly, my jaw is still on the floor after the latest episodes. If you are as obsessed with this DiMera family chaos as I am, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because we are diving deep into the darkest corners of the DiMera crypt today. You do not want to miss a single update as we head into what might be the most explosive sweeps month in the history of the show. If you are still trying to pick your jaw up off the floor after watching Lexie Carver stumble out of that secret DiMera passage right after the reading of Stefano DiMera's will, you are definitely not alone. I mean, can you even believe it? Lexie Carver, the legendary Lexie Carver, walking right back into Salem. The actor playing Lexie Carver is absolutely killing it right now, bringing so much vulnerability and confusion to a legacy character who has been presumed dead since 2012. It is the kind of classic, earth-shattering soap opera plot twist that reminds us exactly why we watch this show day in and day out. But while everyone in town is hyper-focusing on Lexie Carver's miraculous return and how Abe Carver is going to handle having two wives, we need to talk about the massive unspoken elephant in the room. Or should I say, the massive secret hidden deep inside the DiMera crypt. We need to talk about Chad DiMera, EJ DiMera, and the very real, absolute certainty that Abigail Devereaux DiMera is currently chilling in a stasis pod. Let's be real for a second. EJ DiMera is lying through his teeth, and I am going to break down exactly why I honestly believe EJ DiMera is playing the sickest game of psychological warfare we have ever seen. So, we just watched that gut-wrenching confrontation between Chad DiMera and EJ DiMera. Naturally, after seeing Lexie Carver literally walk back from the dead, Chad DiMera's very first thought goes straight to his murdered wife. Chad DiMera corners EJ DiMera about the secret resurrection project, desperate, pleading, hoping beyond hope that EJ DiMera is going to use whatever mad science brought Lexie Carver back to revive Abigail Devereaux. And what does EJ DiMera do? EJ DiMera shuts Chad DiMera down cold. EJ DiMera looks his grieving brother in the eye and claims that Abigail Devereaux simply was not preserved fast enough. EJ DiMera tries to argue that because Abigail Devereaux was brutally stabbed to death without warning, Abigail Devereaux's body was not a viable candidate for Dr. Wilhelm Rolf's resurrection protocol. EJ DiMera even backs it up with Dr. Wilhelm Rolf's old, tired excuse that Abigail Devereaux lost too much blood. A lot of fans think EJ DiMera was actually being genuine here, trying to spare his brother's feelings. But if you ask me, that is a complete load of garbage. Let's look at the actual facts of Salem science. EJ DiMera wants us to believe the circumstances of the deaths matter. Yes, the contrast between Lexie Carver and Abigail Devereaux is stark. Lexie Carver died of a brain tumor 15 years ago. Stefano DiMera and EJ DiMera knew the end was coming. Stefano DiMera had months to prepare a cryogenic stasis chamber, line up Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, and get everything perfectly situated to freeze Lexie Carver immediately upon her passing. Abigail Devereaux's death, on the other hand, was just 4 years ago. It was violent, sudden, and completely unexpected. Abigail Devereaux bled out. But here is the kicker, you guys. Since when does losing too much blood stop Dr. Wilhelm Rolf? Are we seriously supposed to forget what happened to Will Horton back in 2015? Ben Weston literally strangled Will Horton to death. Will Horton was zipped up in a body bag, stored in a freezing cold drawer at the Salem morgue, and Will Horton had a full open casket funeral. Will Horton did not have a secret DiMera medical team on standby? Yet, Dr. Wilhelm Rolf swooped in, injected Will Horton with the resurrection serum, and wiped Will Horton's memory in a random Nashville warehouse? Or what about EJ DiMera himself? Let's do a quick lore check from 2014. EJ DiMera was gunned down in the park by Clyde Wesson's men. EJ DiMera died right in Sammy Brady's arms. EJ DiMera was clinically dead, and Susan Banks thought she was burying EJ DiMera's ashes. In reality, Kristen DiMera snuck into the morgue, injected a dead, bleeding EJ DiMera with Dr. Wilhelm Rolf's serum, and smuggled EJ DiMera out of the country. Do not tell me a stab wound and some blood loss is beyond the limits of DiMera science. If Dr. Wilhelm Rolf can bring back people who have been strangled, shot, or caught in massive explosions, Dr. Wilhelm Rolf can absolutely heal a stab wound. That science excuse is EJ DiMera playing God, plain and simple. And if you need more proof that EJ DiMera is a liar, let's talk about the biggest spoiler of the week. I was stunned. Completely stunned. Jack Devereaux and Chad DiMera secretly went to the cemetery and exhumed Abigail Devereaux's grave. And guess what? Abigail Devereaux's remains are not there. The grave is completely empty. Are you kidding me? This completely blows EJ DiMera's lies out of the water. Jack Devereaux knows something sinister is going on, and Jack Devereaux is not sitting around waiting for answers. Jack Devereaux is actually recruiting his other daughter, Gwen Rizchek, to help him. Jack Devereaux asks Gwen Rizchek to use her knowledge of the DiMera mansion to snoop around and see if Abigail Devereaux is hidden in one of those person pods in the secret basement. Gwen Rizchek lived in that mansion while she was married to Dmitry von Luschner, so Gwen Rizchek knows the layout. I think having Gwen Rizchek sneak around the DiMera tunnels to find the sister she used to hate is an absolute masterstroke by the writers. The actor playing Gwen Rizchek always brings so much complicated energy, and this redemption arc is exactly what Gwen Rizchek needs. But why would EJ DiMera lie? I absolutely love the actor playing EJ DiMera right now. Dan Feierigel is charismatic, brilliant, and captivating to watch, but I hate how utterly ruthless EJ DiMera is with his own flesh and blood. Chad DiMera has been through absolute hell, and EJ DiMera is playing four-dimensional chess with his brother's heart. It all comes down to control. Right now, EJ DiMera is fiercely protecting his dynamic and relationship with Kat Green. We all know how territorial EJ DiMera gets when EJ DiMera claims someone. If EJ DiMera even suspects for a single second that Chad DiMera is becoming a threat to his life with Kat Green, or if Chad DiMera starts poking around in DiMera Enterprises where Chad DiMera does not belong, EJ DiMera needs a nuclear option. And what is the ultimate distraction for Chad DiMera? Abigail Devereaux. If EJ DiMera has Abigail Devereaux on ice in a secret facility somewhere, EJ DiMera holds the ultimate trump card. EJ DiMera can wake Abigail Devereaux up and drop Abigail Devereaux right back into Salem the minute EJ DiMera needs Chad DiMera out of his way. Chad DiMera would instantly drop any vendetta, any corporate war, and any interest in Kat Green, because Chad DiMera's entire world would revolve around helping Abigail Devereaux recover. EJ DiMera is not just withholding the truth. EJ DiMera is actively weaponizing Chad DiMera's grief. Let's think about the kids for a second. Thomas DiMera and Charlotte DiMera have been through absolute psychological torture. Thomas DiMera literally watched Kat Green masquerade as Abigail Devereaux. Thomas DiMera hates Kat Green with a burning passion because Kat Green played with a grieving child's heart. Now, Chad DiMera is back in Salem, played brilliantly by Connor Floyd, and Chad DiMera is trying to navigate being a single father while having this undeniable magnetic pull toward Kat Green. If EJ DiMera is hiding Abigail Devereaux, EJ DiMera is not just torturing Chad DiMera. EJ DiMera is actively depriving Thomas DiMera and Charlotte DiMera of their real mother. That makes EJ DiMera's lies so much more sinister. EJ DiMera is willing to let his own nephew and niece suffer in agony, just so EJ DiMera can maintain his grip on the DiMera empire and keep Chad DiMera distracted. Now, we have to look at how EJ DiMera handled Lexie Carver's return. EJ DiMera knew about Lexie Carver being alive for months, but deliberately kept Lexie Carver's own son, Theo Carver, completely in the dark. Why? EJ DiMera's defense is that EJ DiMera did not want to give Theo Carver false hope. The brain tumors were complex, the 15-year stasis took a massive toll, and EJ DiMera did not know if Lexie Carver would actually wake up with her memories, or even wake up at all. You can definitely argue that EJ DiMera is applying that exact same twisted logic to Chad DiMera. Maybe EJ DiMera is not 100% sure the resurrection serum worked on Abigail Devereaux. Abigail Devereaux's violent death did make her revival much harder than Lexie Carver's revival. Maybe Abigail Devereaux is stuck in a coma in that pod. If EJ DiMera tells Chad DiMera that Abigail Devereaux is alive but might be a vegetable forever, it destroys Chad DiMera all over again. But frankly, knowing EJ DiMera, it is rarely about pure altruism. It is always about power. Keeping the secret gives EJ DiMera all the leverage. I am calling it right now. I honestly believe EJ DiMera absolutely has Abigail Devereaux. The writers are laying the groundwork way too heavily. You do not bring up Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, secret resurrection projects, and specific excuses about blood loss unless you are reminding the audience of the rules so you can break those rules later. I think we are gearing up for a massive confrontation in the DiMera crypt in a few months. Chad DiMera is going to notice EJ DiMera sneaking around or making secret funding transfers to an offshore medical facility. Chad DiMera will follow EJ DiMera, break into a hidden wing of the tunnels we have never seen before, and Chad DiMera will find that glowing blue stasis pod. When Chad DiMera finally realizes his brother let him mourn for 4 years while Abigail Devereaux was frozen right under his nose, the fallout is going to shatter the DiMera family forever. We are talking a blood feud that makes Stefano DiMera and Victor Kiriakis' old wars look like a playground fight. That is crazy, right? But in Salem, it is just another Friday. What do you guys think? Do you believe EJ DiMera is telling the truth about Abigail Devereaux? Or do you think EJ DiMera is hiding her in a pod right now? Sound off in the comments below. I want to read every single theory you have. And if you love this deep dive into the DiMera drama, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. See you next time, Days fans.